Hey guys, how you like this pair of glasses? I can't see with them very good, but they got that blue stuff in them, so that's helping. I'm on a little bit early, I'm not even ready. I was playing around with that, the jellyfish thing we did with the rocks. I'm waiting for stuff to dry, and I've been playing with my oil crayons. Another subject, I haven't used them in 100 years. Oil pastels, I should say. So, anyways, here's the one I'm messing with. It's not dry yet. I need more ribbons. I have a box of ribbons. I haven't found those boxes yet. I'm on a roll lately. The full moon's coming. I should be a real mess by next week. Full moon always does it to me. Isn't it coming out pretty? So I'm going to put some jewels on it too, but I'm waiting for everything to dry. I needed my glue gun on anyway since my other headband broke, but I love this, so I ripped it off and put it on an old one. So that's what I was doing. And then this is 11 by 14. I get this at Dollar Tree. Anything, anywhere you want to go. So, hey cat. So basically, it's a very basic painting, but it's going to be, I want to teach it to you so you don't have to use a tracer all the time. I actually think, I don't know if she's on here yet, that Lori needs to be a little more advanced stuff, so I'm thinking just doing the tracers is not always a good thing. So I don't think you need anything really super advanced, but I think sometimes having something that isn't just tracers is good for you. So, because I got tons of tracers in here now, and God knows you can get them anywhere. So I've been working on some different things. This one's kind of a moon with like a swirly sky, maybe being Gogh. And then I thought maybe I'd do a black silhouette with like a boat in a tree. That's one. And then for Halloween, I seen this one watercolor where the girl did it with, you do it a certain way so that it glows. It has little fireflies in it. And I thought maybe have the pumpkin kind of look up at the fireflies. I mean, it's not done. These are just ideas, sketches, and notes. And then here's the other one I did. And this one is another sunflower one, which we had done in the other room. I'm not sure if you guys can grasp that. I mean, if you just paint it in, it's not going to be the same because it kind of has a cathedral look. And this one is, it's somewhere between a moon and I want it to like spiral up into like a whole bunch of stars in the sky. And she's like kind of holding it up. That's a good idea. So that's another idea. And then I have this whole page of like mushrooms. So like on a field kind of, maybe a few flowers in the bottom. So that was another day. So I just come up with ideas for the fall. Where we're going to be at by the end, because we have probably just one more class in August. So, you know, you want to do something Augusty, you know. But I thought some of these night sky things would be kind of cool between late, you know, early September and into October, besides just doing pumpkins, which we will do. So anyways, just give you some ideas what I've been working on. And here's our painting. So we're going to do some lights and darks today. So let me get you up on this crazy iPad. Where am I? I want my live. It's a pretty painting. Very simple. I'll show you how to do it with the paint and the chalk. And as you know, if you use anything besides white chalk, it can blend with the paint. Because it's wet when I put it on there. With the chalk, it's dry, but it's white. So if it should mix in it, it's not going to do nothing. But I got told that a long time ago, and I didn't listen. And I picked up a piece of colored chalk, and I had a mess. And I did it with a client or a customer, and I had to fix it. So, anyways, white, just white. All right, so I'm still looking. Where am I? Okay, how do we get up here? Garden palette, inner circle. Come on, live. Come on, live. There I am. There I am with my crazy hair. Okay, so what we're going to do is in the back, like we did the other night with, when I did, what was it night, was it? What's today, Saturday? No, today's Friday. Last night we did I brushed it on with paper towel. I'm doing the same thing. It's very similar to what we did last night. I'm okay now, I can take these off. So it does help if you get some blue glasses. I thought they'd be a little more magnified, but they are, but you should need them, pick them up. Alright, so I'm buffering, just let you know, my thing is buffering, so if it cuts out, I'll put it back on and come back and get me. Because it's buffering, a little circle thing. Okay, so I turn this around. Alright, so we're going to do this back the whole, you know, you can do like the half sheet. I think one should be enough. And I'm just going to get it wet with some water. And do I get the right paints out? Let me see. We got this wrong one, True Blue and some white. Yeah, I didn't get too much done today. I had a lot of other plans, and me and my daughter went grocery shopping. So I get that ATC or ATC, whatever it is, OTC card on my insurance. It's not much, $43, but the only place you can use it is Walmart's. I'm not crazy about Walmart's anymore, but I got, you know, you gotta buy groceries with it, so I bought other stuff out of there, and I found, I always hit the craft section, and I love King Art, and I bought some, what do they call those, I bought those little canvases like this, the long ones, and then I bought, some things to put into, not this week, but, to put into the Happy Meal. Something that you can use. They have all that kind of like office supply stuff is all on sale right now. I love looking through, like I got some glue, 50 cents. I gotta stop using this stuff. I got a new bottle, $16. So now I need a whole bunch of paintings I'm gonna varnish, so I don't wanna, I'm gonna use this on my multimedia for a while, and I could finish it off with the spray and stuff. All right, so blue and white. And it's the, what I told you it was, it's the True Blue and some white. And I'm just gonna, mostly, I want you to keep it lighter on this side and darker towards that side. So just scrub it on. I did back and forth. It's up to you, but kind of keep the darker side over here. Actually, this would work a little better if I wet the canvas, but I forgot to do that, so that's okay. My spray bottle's in the other room. So it's just blue and white. Just save you some time and give it some interest, which you know is a good thing. If you put it on with a brush and just go back and forth between the blue and white. Be brave, you know what I mean? Don't be shy about it. Go right ahead and do it, because even if you do too much, it still will be all right. Because especially with this, like the impressionist and stuff, there, if you go look at a real impressionist, there's a lot of brush strokes. Not like what I do, but there's a lot of brush strokes. If you go look at a Monet, which is the first time I seen one, I was fascinated, because there's a little stroke for like a tree. There's got to be 8,000 strokes, and each one is just a little bit darker, a little bit lighter. Each variation of one tiny stroke makes up this big tree or a water or a bridge, and it's just fascinating because he seemed to know exactly what he was trying to achieve. And so you have where you can see the strokes. And each one has something it's supposed to do. Like this is supposed to be lighter, this is supposed to be darker. So not having it all like solid is okay. It does create some interest, and God, they were beautiful. So the first one I seen was in I think Rochester, was it Rochester? They have I think it's 4 paintings, a permanent display of his. Then of course the second ones I seen were a big, they had this group of artists, these women they never married during the turn of the century, and they kept a lot of the art, and they let it tour the whole world. It had only been released once, and that's it. I found the menu for it. It's in my book. And it's fascinating because they only did secondary cities, no big cities, and Syracuse was lucky. They had to drop a fortune to create storage because these paintings were unbelievable. And that was the second time I've seen a Monet. And the third time was at the MoMA. So they are beautiful, you know, but it's all these different strokes. So that's what gives it that kind of look. All right. So, okay, so now we got that done. So now on the bottom, it's going to be fairly plain. It's going to be a big flat brush. So find your biggest, flattest, squarish brush. And we're going to do that with that brown, which I didn't put on here yet. It is the chocolate brown or any dark brown and a little red. You could just do a straight dark brown, but I think the red kind of just makes it a little bit more old world looking, because that's what we're trying to achieve here. But if you use a red, make sure it's like a darkish red. Right. What red did I tell you this was? Oh, I think it's candy apple. I didn't get, oh, there's a little bit in here still. This is from yesterday. There we go. And you're just going to brush it across the bottom. And I did it, where is it? About a third. So if you want to like, oh, I made a little mess there. You want to take your thing and kind of measure, figure 1, 2, 3. It's about a third. And even if it's wrong, you feel like it's too high or too low, it's really not wrong. Because you could set the bottom down lower and have it sit down on the counter more. Or you could just leave the background up. Or you could bring some blue and white down. So, you know, you can adjust it. Luckily, our acrylic paints, you know, dry pretty quick. So there's like 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to start right about there. If you're worried about getting it straight, one of my tricks when I taught painting with a twist, this, is to come in with a paper towel or anything flat. If you're worried about, you know, it sounds so stupid, but some people really can't do a straight line to save their life. You could tape this, put a piece of tape down, like masking tape. You can even come in with like a paper towel. Get the paper towel straight as you can and hold it. And then just go like this, almost like doing a stencil. It'll be pretty close to what you want. I got a lot of weight on this brush. So that's just an idea to get you, try to do very good, but get you straight here. But you could just use a piece of, like I said, masking tape, which I have done many times, especially in water. Watercolor bleeds, guys. So if you're trying to get a nice line with watercolor, use some masking tape because it, or you know, painter's tape, because it does like, it'll make you crazy because it's wet, you know. And then keep it kind of dry where the tape is. So I'm just adding red and brown as I go. And I kind of made more red towards the center. But the reason you're doing it this way, there's a reason you're doing it this way. And we're going to talk about putting those lights and darks in. The reason you're doing it this way is because in order for that bottle to look like it's see-through, you've got to also paint what's behind it, or it won't look transparent. I mean, if you just paint it blue and paint the wall blue, it would look like a blue bottle, but you wouldn't be seeing through it. So if you do something in the background, it's very simple, just the bottom and the top, you're going to see some of the background. So that's very important. Like I said, if you just put the bottle on and you paint the whole thing blue with just a few highlights, it's not going to look see-through. That's why it's important to see some of the blue in the background, which you can see, and some of the brown. And that's really the beginning of making something look see-through when it comes to glass. What else on here? Turn this around. I don't know what's going on with Facebook now. Nothing's happened to me, but I was reading a meme. I believe her name is Stacy Wright. I believe she is a digital creator, and something's going on with her pages, or yeah, not her pages, her groups. They are inviting people in that are not supposed to be in there. Now, I have not had that happen. I know it has something to do with changing you go in the back and you change your, who can get invited in. That's how you keep it private. So, I don't know what's going on, but evidently a few other people chimed in. So, I haven't seen anything, and then we'll know if someone gets in here. So, I'm just putting it out there that if you happen to see anybody jump in the group, because you guys are both administrators, so you have the right to like actually throw them out. But if you see anything, make sure you message me, please. You know, just in case I miss it, but I doubt I will. But you know, I have had where other people got in. I had went in and changed. There's a way you do it so that, you know, there's a public one, a private one, blah blah blah. But evidently, it's affected both. But it could also be a glitch. I know there's some crazy stuff going on. So I don't know what that it was. Then when people started chiming in, I'm like, oh no. And I haven't seen anything, so I don't know. But just if you happen to see anything like that, either group. I mean, I kind of, most of the people to get into the free group, I asked them to come in. once in a while you'll see me post for people to join my group. Very rarely does that happen unless they see something they like. So, you know, I don't know until it happens. So I usually get a message in my email, but not all the time. So most of the time. And then of course they show up, and I have an automatic thing that I wrote out that says welcome to the group. It tells the things you gotta know, you know, blah blah blah. So see how I got a little more red towards the middle here? So like I said, you want some of the colors. You don't really see them overly, but you'll see enough to know that it's transparent when you put that bottle on there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna dry this and make sure it's pretty dry, because we're gonna start making a chalk bottle. We'll chalk it in. Yeah, so we got a few things done. So I was kind of hoping to go over to Lowe's. I need to pick up some things, soil and stuff, mulch. And my dad called. You know, he well, 2 days last week I went and took him to his run his errands, get his lottery tickets, pick up his medications, his change in pharmacy. So I get a phone call. He's afraid to come downstairs by himself. He's still at the pacemaker, right? And he's 88. He does pretty good, but he's 88. So, okay, so after we left Liverpool, we came all the way back here, dropped the groceries off, went all the way back out to, which is farther. I have to go the long way now because our 81 here, I just can't even describe how bad it is. They're doing a whole city. It literally is the whole city at the same time. They're changing everything, taking all the highways out. They got one bridge. They don't know what they're going to do. Now they're talking about building a road to get in and do it. It's just a nightmare. You got to see it to believe it. So I take the long way over, which is fine. And my daughter says, try to take my car because he can't get into an SUV. I have problems with SUVs. He can't get in it. So we get over there, and all he wants is his fish dinner, well, actually clam strips, and his lottery tickets. And he needs somebody to bring him downstairs. My sister will be home tonight. Turns out her car, wouldn't start this morning. She had a beautiful, beautiful big car, van, VW. So he's got an older, she took it to work. So anyway, so we went over there and we took care of him, and then we came back here, and she was exhausted. So, kind of tied up a little more of the day than I wanted to, but so then I said, I'll come in here, and I was going to finish my, I forgot that I had 3 winners, so I made up another box of stuff to send out, and I'm going to finish that tonight. I had to get stamps the other day to put on them, so they're ready to just get stamped and weighed. So, that's the way life is, right? But I went out and looked at my yard. I saw my roses. We finally had some rain. It's been like over maybe 2 weeks, a week and a half since we've had rain. So, there's something, if you've ever read anything about rain and then watering your garden, there is something in rainwater. So when you kind of save it to your inside plants, there's electrolytes and things that happen in the water that you can't get with tap water, or even clean tap water or spring water. You need rainwater. So let me tell you something, everything's blooming. I've been waiting. It's so beautiful. Oh my God. Yeah, they're brand new roses, so I'm not getting a lot, but the other one already bloomed. So I'm pretty happy. So now this is dry. Get yourself a piece of white chalk. You could use a pencil. The reason I tell you to use chalk, we'll go over this one more time. The reason I tell you to use chalk is because it's wipeable. If you don't like where it is, or you don't like the shape, you can take it off there, and it's not going to show up later. If it gets a little messy, it makes a mess, it's chalk. It'll come off there. After you get done, all the acrylic is dry. Wet wipe, use your finger, anything wet, and it will come off. I need to dry this again. So yeah, so I ended up getting a little fish dinner, and I bought myself a little Caesar salad. Stupid Caesar salad kit. The best part, as far as I'm concerned, Caesar salad, chicken Caesar salad, is the croutons. No croutons in it. I was disappointed. But I seen this somewhere where you could take cheese, those little cheesy crackers. Let me tell you something, guys. It was delicious. And I'm way below my budget. I have like another 900 calories to go, so I can eat what I want. So I put those cheese crackers on, those little fishies. Let me tell you something. It was delicious. Fat girl things, right? All right, so now what we gotta do is we gotta make us a bottle. And we're gonna chalk it in. And we can make a circle and make an oval. That's it. And I'll explain the rest of it as we go. So let me see. We want to just get it as close as I can. You guys put it up on your computer, or you can screenshot it and put it on your camera. There's a lot of ways you can do it so you can save it. So I'm not going to expect you to get this exactly like, but I'm more wanting to like have you guys have the experience of doing something with a lot of highlights in it and understanding kind of what you're doing. All right, so I'm going to bring this about in between here and here. The bottle starts about halfway because the sunflower is going to take up this whole corner, and it is kind of dead center, just off a little bit. So about halfway, you can kind of go like this. Remember, it's chalk. Kind of mark it off. Make yourself the top of the bottle. Make like a U. Then kind of cup that in, C shapings, and then you're going to make an elbow. Make it any way you want. Just make an elbow. There's an elbow. I never get them both right. I fix them later. Then straight down, and you want this almost the whole thing on the bottom is the bottle. This one looks like it's a little skinnier. That's okay. There you go. So there's your bottle. Not perfect, but that's okay. And like I said, this one I don't know if I like this elbow or that elbow. I think I like this one, so I can come in here. Use a little water, use your tongue, whatever. You can kind of just adjust a little bit. Well, I still keep getting this. Let's think this one's smoother. Alright, that looks a little closer, right? So you don't need no highlights or nothing on this yet. But you're going to want, like right about where this thing is here, your bottle's going to fill up with water. So you're going to make like a little ring in there. That's all. And then you're going to make a little ring right here. That's the bottom of the bottle. Make 2 rings like that. So that gives you the gist of your bottle. Now, you're going to want a pretty good sized circle up here for your sunflower. And I did a pretty big one. You could do a smaller one, but I think because the bottle's so big, you probably want to do a little bigger sunflower. So most of the sunflower is all about the middle. So I would do a good sized circle. And I know some of you ain't good at making circles, but like I said, you could use something to make a circle. Whatever's easier for you, a flower pot, a lid of an oatmeal container, whatever you got. And then we're going to make like a block, like a foot. This is going to kind of come over here. There's going to be all these flowers, petals around it. And right here is going to be a football. Just make a football like this. It's going to take up a good size, good amount of this size right here. Make a football. We're going to fill that in. And then your stem is going to come off this. You're not really going to see it yet, but it's going to come right off this, and which you're not going to do yet. And it's going to come right down, and it's going to go right through this thing, and it's going to go right down to the bottom. It's going to sit on the bottom. So that's just a setup. We're not doing anything particular. We just got a basic design. So now you can go through, and you can kind of adjust what you're going to do. You can adjust a lot with your paintbrush. So you want to have a little color in this blue because the white won't, if this is too light, it won't show up. So make sure you have a little blue in this background. Like I said, you paint right over this, you're not going to see it. So, alright, so now you got all the basics in here. Now, first thing you want to do is you want to get this blue in here, and I use what we always use is that the emerald green, or what do they call it? I never say it right. Jewel green, and a little white. And I'm going to get me a big flat brush. It's a big subject, so get a good size. I got this one too. You can do an angle flat or a flat flat. You're going to do that first. You're going to get all that color on first so we start describing it with highlights. So I'm going to go right into this green, just like this. I'm going to, oh, I got purple in there. I'm going to grab a little white. I need some more white. And we're going to start putting it in. We're going to do it by swooping it because we want kind of the shape of the bottle a little bit. Now you can go through and just do the whole thing in green, but if you do that, it'll be very solid. You won't see the back. And the idea is to make it look see-through. You want some of the backgrounds to show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe on these colors just like this. Shut that alarm off. I'm going to follow the chalk line. I'm going to swoop it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Not worry about these edges too much because we're going to put colors over here. Now see how you can still see some of the background? Sometimes I should do like a wine bottle. It's a little harder, but I think like if you've ever took a wine class and you've done a wine bottle like in a painting with a twist or something, they actually do the whole background like I did for New Year's, and then they just do the whole rim of the whole thing in white or white and blue, mostly white, and that's how you get you don't do anything. You just do the shape of the bottle, the cup, or glass, and then when you get done, you can put whatever you want in there, wine or whatever, like what I did when I was doing the wine classes. So that's all I did. Make sure it's a flat brush, and let some of those edges, some of these colors, you don't have to go all the way through, all the way over, because you're going to put highlights on the edge of this, and let this show through. You want to see some of the brown because it's behind it, and you want to see some of the blue because it's behind it. All right. So I'm just kind of going a little bit over these edges, just a tiny bit, but I'm leaving them out really. So I'm going to put highlights on these edges. I hope I'm making sense. And so now what I want to do is I want to do some of this dark blue. And the reason is that's going to describe some of the shape. So I'm going to rinse my brush just slightly. A dirty brush, oops, shoot, is okay. And I'm going to go into that blue, which is true blue again. And I'm going to get it on my brush. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we're going to swoop that on too. You're going to swoop that blue on. It's going to have a little green in the brush, but you actually want that. And I'm going to swoop that around just for the darkness. I'm going to come in like this and swoop, swoop. So you hold your brush to describe the bottle. You got to hold it, follow the subject like this. And then right here is the bottom of the bottle. So you want to make like a half a circle. This is you want some of the colors to show you. That is the bottom of the bottle. Now it doesn't gotta be real dark because we're gonna still make some highlights over that. So now you can take your round brush or whatever you got. You can do a small flat, and you're gonna do the edges too with the same blue. We're gonna do other colors over the top, and we're gonna come through and start making a shape. Put your pinky down. Pinky down so you can do this, and do this first. We're going to do white over it. It's always dark to light. Bring it all the way down. It's a lot of steps to make something look a certain way, I always say at least 3 layers. So this is kind of almost your second layer. All right, so now I darkened this up a little black too. I just noticed that. I didn't have it on my palette. I don't think I put it down there, but there's a little black in here. Now you're going to take some yellow and a little white, or you could do white and ochre and yellow, either one. And you're going to start making the shape of your lid right here. And you're going to describe the shoulders right here with some yellow. And then you're going to make where the liquid is in the bottle. And it usually has like the top of the water. Now I didn't put anything here, but you could just like do this and it'll be the top of the water. And then I took the yellow and white again, and just to make like a glow, you kind of just drag these down a little bit. And not too much because I did a little bit later in that one, but you're going to need to put your stem in there. And you want the stem in there first before you finish, because all these highlights are going to go over the stem. where it'll look like the stem is on the outside of the highlight, and that's not going to work. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to do our flower. Let this dry, and we're going to come back and finish this. We're letting it dry. So we get the top of the water, a little glow, the bottom of the bottle. We described the shoulders, and we started a little yellow up there. We started the rim of the bottle. All right, so now let's start the sunflower. So same thing, I use the brown and red. Let's go in with a round brush. It's a round brush, flat brush, and a small flat, or angle, either one. So let's do a brown. I think I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I use all random brushes, but I think it might be easier for newbies. Did I use yellow? I'm looking, I think I did. A little yellow and brown in this. I actually might just buy a set for this, and then, because like the Deco Art and even like my Arteza, they have all different sizes. So I think people get confused about this. I think for the more advanced classes, I should definitely have sizes, not just the kind of brushes, but also the sizes. So this is a little translucent at first, but I did that brown with that. It's a bright yellow. I think it's called just bright yellow. It's actually not Deco Art. It's Apple Barrel, like this. See, you can get that nice center. Now we're gonna put highlights on this too, guys. So I just went through and just got it on there. A little more brown, a little more yellow. I don't want it real dark. It is a sunflower, right? We're going to have to pick up some yellow though, so I can do the outside of this flower. Now you can like darken up one side with a little red and brown if you want to. Just to kind of, because remember, actually the light is going to come in to this side. All your light, even on here. See how I got the highlights in here? They're on this side. On this side, mostly here. Mostly this is the light, and then there's a shadow this way, which we'll talk about when we get to it. So I just kind of darken that side up. I'm wiping my brush off. Then I'll kind of, while it's wet, I'll kind of bring it in, just blend it a little bit. Little trick. Do this with watercolor too. Now it's still damp. Start bringing it in, move it around, make some little sections here so you can see that it's, you know, round and it's got little hatches in there. All right, so now that's a good start. So now what you want is I go back to that flat square brush, and I need more yellow. I'm gonna go into the yellow. Oops, what did I do? The other night I was doing that. What class was I doing? Oh, what class was it? So many classes, guys. And I couldn't, it came on, hey Laura, it came unplugged. And it kept doing it. And these are, I mean, they got paint all over, but they're not that old. I just bought 3 more. It's expensive to buy all these quartz. And sometimes I have problems finding the long ones. So what happened was I was working and I had some of this on my hands, and it got into the plug, into the phone and on the plug, because I must have went like this. I had it on my hands, it got caught in there. Wow, what a mess. So I cleaned it up and it's fine. But I was like, oh no, I just bought 3, right? All right, hey Laura, hey Lori. So anyways, now we're on the sunflower. So that's where we are right now. Hey Lori. I'm working on this right here. I'm gonna put jewels on and wait for it to dry. I bought these long ones from. They don't always have them at Walmart's. All right, so now we're gonna take the yellow just like we did last night, night before. I don't know what day it is. Last night. And just straight yellow, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to kind of come around here and just told you about that artist who's having a stroke, but he kept asking me, why are you using that small brush? Well, I got a little green in here, but that's okay. There actually is green in a sunflower, so it does save you a lot of time, and you put your highlights in afterwards. I mean, I suppose, I have done this when I started out doing paintings with a little tiny brush. Let me tell you something. You can like lose interest real fast when you're doing something really small. I do like doing little tight paintings, but I know now that to get the colors and the texture I'm looking for, it's good to have a nice, whatever color it is behind there, all punched in without all those little tiny strokes. And then I can start working on the strokes where I want them. And that all is a brush thing too. Brush, because you can get, like, talk about, you'll see me start doing the big paintings. This is my biggest round brush. This is a big brush, guys. And this is my favorite brush when I'm working big. So you can get all these brushes in bigger sizes. I don't think I have. My biggest palette knife is really big. Well, here's one of them, but I have one that's huge, just like a spatula. It's Gogh. You know, same thing with my watercolor brushes. I got some that are pretty big. Here's one. I mean, it's big watercolor. Fan brushes. I got really big fan brushes, which I wouldn't use in a regular painting. So going big is a good thing, especially when you're working on a very large piece. You don't want to be using little tiny brush strokes. You'll be there forever. And it kind of loses some of the color in the background because you're piling all that color on top of everything. Besides you have the chance of making something turn into mud, right? That nice bright color or whatever it is you're looking for is lost. Now, once you get that blocked in, that color, or I call it blocking in, some people do anyways, now you can start describing your subject. I'm not worried about this either because we're going to do little petals in there. So we're going to let that dry a minute. See, now you can leave that just like that if you wanted to. We're not going to, but you could. So now let's get some highlights in on the inside of this sunflower. So like you said, it's a painterly fashion. It's a, it's like a Van Gogh style. So you want to have brush strokes. Like I told you, I've seen Van Goghs and Monets and Monet and Turner. I've seen a lot of them. And in the Impressionist style, which Van Gogh is too, there's strokes. You see them. Now this is very mild, not a lot of strokes. But if you like that style, you want to see some strokes. And the strokes describe it and they give it highlights. So we're working with the highlights on this side, and that's why that's there. There's some reflective light here. There's like a little lightness, and then there's light right here. You could even darken this corner up a little bit, and it'll make this look lighter. So anyways, let's go in here, and I'm gonna, it's not really a solid white. You want to have some color in that white, so take the white, and you can either put a little ochre in there or some yellow. I'm not gonna ochre out either. And that will tone down. You don't want it solid yellow, but you want it like almost white. So really a lot of artists never work with a solid white. They always add something to it. They just do. It just looks better. I mean, I know to the human eye things can look really white, and you put it down on paper, it don't look right, because the human eye and the sun and reflective light and refraction are different. And remember, we're not working on like a 5-dimensional or 4, we're working on a 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional subject right here in front of us, so we can't get that. So we have to use what we have to describe what we're seeing. And really, in reality, it is not solid white. Yeah, okay? It's just not. All right, so I'm just like kind of randomly going through and I'm making this little cross hatches. It hasn't got to be perfect. In fact, a little wonkier is better. I'm gonna get as close as I can. I want a little yellow in there too. I want, because some reflection would be off the side of the petals. Right here. Everything reflects onto something else. You just don't have reflection on one thing, and that's it. Maybe in a dark room, maybe like if you're being under interrogation, you have a really dark room, and there's one light coming on you, there's no reflection, but there probably is. There's like a lighter black. So really, when you're doing something like this, remember that that light is jumping all over the place. It hits this, and that'll hit that, and that'll hit this, and this will hit that. So don't be afraid to put put a few highlights in. Just do what you think looks good. But do that thing where I tell you where you squint your eyes. It really works. I know it sounds insane, but when I got there, I have this 100 tricks from like 100 artists, something like that. It's from that guy I like. He interviews artists from all over the world. He's been around for a long time. Don't ask me his name right now. I think I gave you guys the name before. But I got 100 tips. I think it was for Impressionism. And number 2 or 3 on the list, which I had got told by a teacher, was, I'm going to darken the side up, was squint your eyes. And then later I've since learned that some will say take your glasses off, use your less dominant hand, you know, but really when you're squinting your eyes, you really get a better picture of what you want, especially with Impressionism. But really not just Impressionism, everything. Squint your eyes a little bit, get a good eye shape. So sometimes when you're looking for the shape of something, if you squint your eyes, you can see, okay, it's a circle, there's little pieces in here. Whereas when you're like right on top of it, all you're picking up is a lot of stuff. And you're looking at all these big things and thinking you got to do it perfect too, which is another mistake. Even the ones that do really serious painting and they're doing exact things, and you're still describing what you see, but you can't use the same things because the light in front of you and the light that you got to get into the canvas are 2 different things. Anyways, so we're done with it. So see how I got little highlights on the side here now. So let me rinse this brush off. We're still going to use a round brush. See, it's not the same, but it'll be okay. See, I darkened this one little edge up. You can darken it more if you want to, with a little green. And I took the yellow and a little ochre, mostly yellow. And I started making little, so I gotta get it close. I gotta get it close here. Little petals. I think I actually I didn't use my round brush. I used my little, I'm into the little flat one now. I don't know why. And it's a Deco Art number 8, right? I can't say, I think it's number 8, yeah. So, and I just took my brown and my yellow and I started making these little, like, just little things. Okay, so I think I used yellow and white on this. I didn't use the brown on this one. A little more yellow and brown. Whatever works for you, that's what you're going to do. I can't get it where I want it. What is going on here? Just go through and make yourself some little strokes. Just like we did yesterday. That's good. This one's coming out a little different, but that's all right. That's how it's flowing today. So I'm just making some strokes. Yellow, little ochre, little white, whatever works. I kind of liking this white, so let's add some more white to that. That kind of works for me today. Yeah, it works good. But mostly you want to keep it on this side too, because like I said, this is going to be a little bit dark. Not a lot, just a little bit. My father's so funny, oh god. So we're thinking, you get yourself fish dinner. So, because there's like a little restaurant in this, little Green Hills, it's called, a little family hometown little place. And mostly it's about his lottery tickets. You guys, I told you a story about the lottery tickets. So he gets his lottery tickets, and so I said, I don't know fish dinner, but I ain't having one, but I'll try theirs. So I ordered a little fish sandwich, which was expensive. And he's over there on the other side of the counter, and he says I always get fish clams. So I got these little clam strips. They got them right where you can heat them up yourself. The price was really good. So he went over and bought them. Here I'm waiting for my food, and he's like ready to go. And my daughter's with me. She's got things to do. We took my car because he can't get in that big SUV she's got. She's got a big Mazda. I said, there you go. So now you get yourself a sunflower. Now I did also like I did in the other one. I took yellow and white, or whatever you want, and you want to make like little strokes to cover this up, but on a real sunflower, there would be a few little petals like right here. There just is. If you go look, they are right here. So I'm working this on an angle too. It hasn't got to be perfect. Close as you can. Like I said, squint those eyes a little bit. So now we got this, you got your big leaf, and they are pretty big leaves, and it's not exactly like what it would look like, but it's close. So I took that green, and I told you that green, if you use it by yourself, it's not really a green you want to use to paint with, so you have to mix it with something. So I mix it with a little ochre, or you can get yourself a different green, and a little yellow. It's a very vibrant green. It's kind of a blue base with the yellow, a little ochre, and you get like a really kind of Kelly green almost. See it? That's the kind of green you want. You're going to highlight this too. Now I made a football, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top of this football and I'm going to kind of make a wave. I'm going to widen it up, make a wave. Like that. Brush is drying out. I'm going to wet it and dab it. So now you got yourself a leaf. And you're going to make one down the middle. And you're going to make some strokes out like that. I ain't putting up yellow in there, but that's okay. Oh, let's make up another little pile of that. Some brown and some yellow. Some ochre and some yellow. Same thing, I'm going to fill it in. Yeah, I'm having fun doing that little rock. I glued it on. So I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to put some diamonds on it. I haven't decided if I want another piece of ribbon. Okay, so now you get this. So now that's a little too even. I want it a little wider. So they're pretty wide. Let that dry a second. We're going to put more highlights in there. But what we want is we want the small round brush to make the either a detail brush. Let me see here. It's just a small brush. I got a little detail one here. And I'm going to take the white. Actually, I'm going to take the yellow and the ochre, and I'm going to go through. Now you're going to have to hold tight on this. You're going to probably, even if it's a little crooked, guys, it'll be okay. But you kind of want to hold this, you know, you want to make sure this is kind of on the straight side. And I'm just going to bring this at an angle right here, and I'm going to come down pretty straight. Even if it's a little wonky, it'll be okay. Now you could chalk this in too. And when I get to the bottom, see where I put that blue in? You want like a little V right there, like you cut it right there. Now, we're going to put highlights over the top of this, so it doesn't matter that it goes over everything. It doesn't matter. And then I took a little green and yellow that we made up here, and I put that on it. Same thing. I'm leaving some of that yellow so that you can see it. Trying to describe something without having to get real perfect here. And then I could put a little bit of white over the top of that, and that's going to even make it more descriptive. So now you get yourself a cool little stem. And then I took a little green and white, and I kind of made a little I don't know what you call them, but you know on the bottom of any kind of flower, like a rose, there's like this little cup that holds the flower in. Now you don't have to do this, but I thought that just made it a little more interesting too, so I need to darken that up. Then go back with some light color. There we go. Now this is going to come over, so we got to take this yellow and white again, and we're going to go over the top of this a little bit. Here. And then we'll do some highlights on this thing. We're going to go just like this with our small brush, and we're going to make some highlights, yellow and white. Not too white. Remember, put some color into that white. There you go. Need a little more white on this stem. Just barely brushing this. Barely. I'm trying to keep this little hook right here so it looks like it's setting on the bottom. Take a little more of that blue and kind of go around it a little bit. Just so you can see there's like a contrast between the lighter color and this blue. There you go. Now, go back to, let's see, I used the round brush. Go back to the round brush, and you're going to start going around the outside of this with your whites and yellows. And I took the white and I added some yellow to it. A little ochre, so it's not, you don't want it bright. You want it white, but you don't want it real bright. So mix up a nice little pile. And you are going to, let's see, I'm going to kind of brighten this up a little bit. You're going to bring this over the top of the stem. You're not going to touch the back of it because it's in back of it, but you want it to describe it, so you want it to be in the back. And then you want to make sure you fix this up once, and then bring this around that bend again to the bottle. Now you're going to start putting in your whites. Same thing, make sure it's really white. Now I got a dirty brush, and I'm going to mix it into that white pretty good until I have a dirty white. Now you can go back and add some yellow and some brown if you want to. Make sure it's on the white side, but not so clean. And you can come in here now and you can kind of shape whatever it is that your shape comes out like. Go right down. I got some dark in here too. We're gonna do the light first. Come right down the edge of the bottle. This needs to be a little darker here, but we're gonna leave that like that. And same thing here. See, I got that sunflower a little farther up, so but that's okay. You still need to do that elbow. I want to extend this a little, make the elbow look the same, so I'm going to do that. Do another one because there's going to be a shot. I got some black, which I got to find now. Where are you, black? I got a gigantic bottle somewhere. Couple, actually. I'm going to fix this bottom up. I'm just kind of trying to talk and paint. It's not an easy thing. I got to round all that out. It's okay. We're going to go back and we're going to do the shadows. And the shadows will actually on this side will fix that, and the highlights will fix this other side. Alright, now I'm going to kind of just go through and mix up some of this. A little darker here. Just to show off this has like these little, I don't know what you would call them. And I want some darkness in here too. I'm going to kind of bring this around. Alright, so now I'm going to take the bottom part and I want a shadow right here. So whatever brush you want to use, I'm going to put that brown and the blue and the red together. And you're going to get this concentration of color, but it's everything that's in the painting, which is the way to do it. Red, blue, and brown. Let it get pretty dark. I haven't put any black in there, see it's like a gray. And kind of come over here, fix your corner. And all your darkness is pulling on this side. We'll pull more blue in there. I don't know if you know this, but most shadows have blue or violet in it. Did you know that? Whenever you're working outside too, no matter what the other side is, green, yellow, orange, the other side in the shadow is going to have some blue in it. It might be very not showing too much, but if you follow that rule whenever you do a shadow, no matter what kind of gray you make, if there's some kind of little bit of blue or violet in there, because there's blue and purple, it will look more like a shadow. I don't always use black because it's too much. Alright, so on this side you want highlights. So what I did was I used the colors that are in the bottle, the sunflower, and the leaf, because we talked about reflective light. And all those colors would be on your light side. Absolutely. So these colors are all going to be in here. So I can take all those colors. The last one I'm going to use is the white. Spread them right out to the end of this, and then your last color is going to be that white, which is kind of wet, so it's going to kind of blend in with these other colors, and that'll give you your light side and then your dark side, which still needs a little darker. Let me kind of put it up and take a look, because I'm feeling like it's still not right here, this bottle. Oh, yeah, I need to fix this a little bit here. Let's see. This makes a little bit of this red and brown again. I'm going to adjust this side a little bit. This is called taking it in. So we're going to take this side in a little bit. Fix the shape up a little bit. Get some red. A little red. But they gave me this pill for pain for my my leg. They said it'd help. It helped. Oh, it's bothering me right now. They said it would help a little bit. It did, but it didn't. But there was this other little side effect called diarrhea, which I'm sure you don't want all the details, but let me tell you something. I haven't felt well, and I was thinking, because I have like I think you guys heard me talking about, I have like kind of a bread intolerance, which I've had forever, white bread. So I thought that was it. I mean, I was throwing stuff away. I really, well, guess what? I went off that pill, and I am fine. So that's what it was, which in the beginning that was the problem. And they told me it might be, so they had a problem then, and I did half and half, will forget it. So then I started having this overwhelmingly, like, I don't feel good kind of feeling. I couldn't, like, not, it's hard sometimes to feel good. I remember Mother used to talk about, it's just people don't understand when you're having a good day. It doesn't happen very often. Well, for me, it's not so much, but. All right, so I'm trying to change the shape up a little bit here. So you can go back with your darks and adjust things. That's okay. And then part of that is I got the white too. Like wonky. So let's kind of come back here and adjust that. Yeah, that's a little better. Now let's fix this other side a little bit. I'm kind of looking up at the screen. Yeah, that's a little better, huh? A little better. Too white. See, so you can adjust. So luckily it's acrylic paint, so. Alright. A little too dark here, so let's kind of go back into that. So that's basically the painting. So now you go through and you adjust where you think. So now you can see that there's a wall behind there, and there's a brown floor behind there, and the different highlights, instead of a solid blue, is going to make your bottle look a little more translucent. And you can kind of come in here and you could add a little green here and there if you want to, which I'm doing. If you want the bottle to look a little more green, you can do that. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to put a little more green in here. Here and there, just adding the green. And keeping those strokes are a good thing because it gives it that Van Gogh or Impressionist look. Now there's still lots of dark blue in here, but I'm going to add a little blue and green to this. Oops. A little blue and green. Keep this dark down here, but add a little green to it. Take my greens. Green, a little white up here. Just a little lighter up here. Because why? Because there's a lighter background. Let's kind of bring this up a little bit lighter. Keep some of my greens a little dark right here, so I'm going to add a little more green here. So you can play with the color a little bit. I want to see a little bit of that back, but not a lot. Make sure it's behind all these highlights or it won't look right. It's got to be behind it. Got to be highlight front of this stem. Let me fix that stem up a little bit too. I go back with some more white paint. You know, to add a little bit of water to a smaller brush to make that white a little inky, it will spread better. If you want to like have this look a little better. So I think that's still looks a little bit uneven, huh? It's okay. Let's take that brown and the red and the blue and make that dark color again. It's over here. I'm going to kind of go in here and kind of shape this up a little bit. You can use your shadows and your light to adjust your jar, you know. Called cutting in, which I'm sure you guys have heard me say that many times. So anyways, back to the Facebook stuff. I got a notice I told you guys the other night that, again, when I get done, I'll ask if I want to make it into a reel. Well, you're better off saying yes, because they'll keep it. They'll store a reel, but not a video. And another interesting thing, it just went in my head and just went out. I got a notice, and it said that you're gonna try it. That they said they're gonna try to. They have like 30 days, and they extended it the first time. So this is a little bit different than the other one because I bring the flower down too low. But it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter. If you don't want to put that little thing that holds the flower up, you don't have to do that either. The cap or whatever it is. So they're both a little different but the same. But the highlights describes the bottle. And yeah, it takes some practice. I learned all that from Helen Van Wyk. W-Y-K. Actually, there's more of her videos. There wasn't any for a long time. I think there was a family battle, just like there was with the Ross. So, you know, things kind of, when families are involved, things get wonky. So anyway, so I don't know. They said, I'm getting mixed messages from the people that I know that are doing this. And I think we're one of the first ones because I haven't had anybody say, oh, all my videos is gone. Nobody. And mine aren't. But it said 30 more days, and it had done that to me before. And I said, okay, I'll extend it because I hadn't had it all done. Well, I've gone as far as I can go. I got tons of videos, and I'm making some constantly, so it doesn't like, and I'm doing a lot of repeats, you know, because I always, at first I didn't realize that there's going to be a lot of people that haven't seen some of my stuff. Now, you guys that have been here, like you and Lori, Kat, have seen a lot of my stuff. So there's a lot of repeats. It's hard to come up with new stuff, too. I came out pretty good. Oh, no, I might do this for a living. Pretty good. For talking. So, I don't know if I can just keep stuff in there the way it is, or if they're going to turn all those into reels. So it's very confusing. So it's from the sounds of it they're talking, which they extend it till September. So if you come in here and there's a problem, just message me. If you're seeing like that thing where I read that one people are coming in they ain't supposed to, anything that looks odd in either group, you guys are both, you know, moderators, Lori and Kat. So if you want to stop something, you just go in there and say, no, you can't do that. And just, you know, they'll let you do it because you're a moderator. I noticed like when there's certain people like Create Your Day and different artists that post some of their paintings on there, which I don't mind. I like Kelly. So it will ask me if I want to let it in there. But you guys, you and Kat, it never does because you guys are not only members, but you're moderators. So anybody that I give some control of my group, they don't ask me if I want it to go in. They tell me that it went in there, but you know, they never, I don't have to push the button to say accept. And I have declined people. Certain things. A few religious things, which is fine, but they were a little over the top. And I had that girl doing poems, and she was okay. I haven't seen her in a while, but there was a couple of hers I had to decline. And then I don't mind spam. I think, you know, like Create Your Day, she's trying to promote some of her paintings. That's fine. But there was one person that was really over the top. It says, you know, I'm here to do my thing. I don't want them going into your group. Because they'll ask them to go into their group. Now, Create Your Day did that, but she's not over the top. But I mean, when they're out just like trying to steal your business, no. But I didn't at first let groups in, but a lot of my people that I know have groups, and a lot of them don't have like a lot of people. Some do, but they're not looking to steal my, you know, 300, 400, 500 people. You know, they have thousands, so they're not even interested in me. But I understand trying to find stuff, but like we have this etiquette thing, which we've talked about in our business group about that, and it's not nice. So if that kind of person gets in my group, I can't block them. Well, I hardly ever have had to do that. Now the chat groups, you guys, if you're in the chat group, you've seen I've had to I get like foreigners, and they start putting this stupid shit in there. It took me a while, but I figured out how to block them. So every now and then, you know, those guys, you know, I see that you're a nice person. I really think you're funny. And could you message me because I can't seem to get through to you? Those I get in there too, believe it or not. I thought the chats were private. Evidently not all the time. So I have to freaking monitor that thing too. So, you know, anyways. So guys, things will probably change here. You know, I imagine it has to do with the time of year, but I think you're going to see some changes coming. There's not much I can do about it, but see what happens. But like I said, Tuesday, I'm going to be on there doing a painting, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to, this is what I did the old days, I'm going to have to put my regular computer up on a box. And put my easel right here, and I'll paint, and I got my light, so it'll be good. But I used, in the original one, that's how we were taught. I used my laptop. And then I had to learn how to use the phone, and everybody was still learning. We're all like, do this and do that, and you have to do it sideways and blah, blah, blah. And then finally it was like they let everybody do it on their phone. And you had to have a good phone, either a good SC or whatever it is, and then the iPhones. So it will be an experience. So once I hit 50 people, evidently I can use my phone. I did a little bit over there today. I haven't done too much. And the big thing is, I think, from what I understand, the reels, they have another name for it, I can't think of it, is how they build people. So, you know, that's why you keep hearing me say people go over there and subscribe. There's a reason. Once I hit 50 people, I just got a couple more this week. If I get a couple more every week, you know, I figure by Christmas time I should hit 50 people. So anyways. So that's it for tonight. What we're doing in 2 weeks, I have no idea. I showed Kat, Lori, and Laura. I play around with ideas, and the one is, it's almost like a big moon in the sky with twirls, and it'll have kind of a Van Gogh look, and then have kind of some kind of tree or boat in black in silhouette. Another one is she's holding up the moon. And there's several other ones. I don't want to tell Lori because Lori will be trying to paint them. Oh, Lori. So, and I was telling them when I first came out here, Lori, that you're at the point where just doing the tracers is not going to be enough for you. Because you're like, just when you're painting, you're whipping them out. Or wherever you can find some kind of artwork. You're at the point where you should be creating some of your own stuff. And you are doing some, which I've seen. So, so I'm thinking I'm still going to be here 2 times a month. That we should probably get into a little bit more what we used to do. We could still do the tracers, but we should also be doing a little bit of learning. That's, you know, I know that you guys love the tracers, and we're still going to do them. But I'm thinking that to move you along, we need to do a little bit more. But like I said, with these groups changing, I'm not sure what's going to stay in it. How am I going to teach you anything if it's not in the group? I mean, I can do posts, and I can do pictures, and I can do tracers, and I can put colors up there, but there's to be no videos. But you can keep reels. So I'm assuming I'll have to do short reels. That's what I was going to tell you. They said that I got a message that says that I should make my reels longer so people will watch it. Isn't that a video? So now I'm seeing these reels that are like, I'm thinking they're going to be short. I'm like, the reel, and it's still on there, and it's still on there, and it's still on there. I'm like, this is not a reel, this is a video. Which is fine, because I watch the whole thing if I like it. So, anyway, so you're going to see me doing longer reels. Doesn't make any sense. All right, guys, so I'll see you in 2 weeks for this class, and what we're doing, I'm not sure. It depends on what I come up with. So I'm looking to do, we're in a transition period right now. We're going from sunflowers, which they were displaying at the store, to pumpkins, into some kind of Halloweens, this kind of in-between stage. So I'm thinking some night sky kind of stuff would be fun too. So anyways, guys, I will see you in 2 weeks. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Who knows? I might even do the... In fact, all that stuff is art. So I never criticize anybody that's doing... in fact, there's one of my artists, my friends, her art, what's the name of her business? She works for Essential Stencils, and now she like designed stencils for Essential Stencil. She's making a fortune. And that's all she does. Now, she does do artwork, because she was in a couple of my competitions, and she did, oh my God, they were beautiful. Paintings I did a couple years ago, and you guys remember the big... Anyways, so she does do painting, but she also owns like an antique booth up like on Ontario Lake, and she makes most of her money doing stencils. So then the company asked her, Essential Stencil, to make stencils, and all of them are mostly dragonflies. She loves beautiful dragonflies, which I didn't buy none yet. But they will ask certain people that work for them, you know, we like your work, could you design us something? That's where they get a lot of their designs are actually from artists. That's why their stuff is so nice, you know, and different. Anyways, so I don't take any opinion. Like when we're doing like the mixed media stuff, anything counts. So don't ever be afraid to like pull anything up there that you might think be a little odd. It's not just about acrylic paint. You know me, I like it all. So it's okay. Yeah, so you get into like moving around a little bit and try doing your own thing. I mean, copying people is fine. Like copy me. I don't bother me because it's what you're here for. You pay for that. But a lot of times I'm going to be careful if you're copying like a copy like a Disney thing. Make sure you don't put it anywhere where you think that in the groups is fine, but anything outside of it, just be a little careful. Just let you know that. So anyways, guys, I will see you, like I said, tomorrow. Not sure what we're going to do yet, so I'll let you know. Probably want to do something with sunflowers, but we shall see. I told you I got, oh my God, I haven't had these in 100 years. You know I love King Art. All my watercolors are King Art, and they got King Art at Walmart's. And this was only $6. I think they're like $18 online. It's oil pastels, and I haven't even broke into my my pastels. I did break into the kit to do drawings. I've been drawing outside. So, anyways, on the background here, these big blobs, those are my oil pastels. So I'm gonna be playing with these. Maybe we'll do something with that tomorrow too. All right, guys. So I will see you. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow at 3, 4 o'clock. All right, guys. Have a great night. Bye.